mwingine dada yetu Gertrude Mwongela.
Ndugu zangu, mimi kitu kingine nimejifunza ni kwamba mimi wakitaja mama Beijing wote mnapiga makofi. Mimi ni mtu mdogo, mtu mfupi sana. Heshima mnayonipa mumesahau ni yenu wenyewe, kwa sababu kazi kama hizi zinazofanyika ni utekelezaji wa mambo tuliyokubaliana Beijing. Ningeenda Beijing alafu tukarudi hakuna anayehamasika, ningekuwa sina maana hata kidogo. Kwa hiyo ndugu zangu, nataka niwaambieni wote, tumekutana, nimeweza kuwataja wote, nimeshindwa kuwamaliza wote, na ninawafahamu wote. Hii inatokana na taasisi kama hizi ambazo zinatukusanya kwa pamoja mara kwa mara.
Kwa kweli sisi kama shirika, kwa niaba ya madau na wengine wote na bodi members walioko hapa, tuna furaha kubwa sana. Tumepata nafasi ya kukutana kama tulivyosema, lakini tumepata nafasi ya kupata mwenzetu kutoka Afrika. Naomba tupige makofi. Na sitasema kutoka Ghana, tutasema kwa maksudi kutoka Afrika, na tunaweza pia kumwita dada Afrika, ambaye kusema kweli kama nilivyointroduce kidogo tu kwa ninavyofahamu, ni mtu ambaye ana nia njema sana na makundi yetu yote na sisi wenyewe tulioko tayari katika hizo funds. Lakini kwa niaba ya wote, ningependa tuchukue fursa hii, dada Theo. In Tanzania we call each other dada, too much like sister. I know we also call ourselves sister in the movement, but I think we need you to have some Kiswahili, which will go back with. And one of them is dada. Dada. Kwa hiyo dada Theo, karibu sana. Utupe hekima zako, utupe practice, utupe pia nisemeje mapana kidogo ya jinsi ambavyo yatatuongoza katika itikadi ya ideological na philosophy.
Good morning. Okay, so before I start, just to make sure everybody's still awake, can we all just stand up and give ourselves as feminists a clap for our successes over the years? So we're here today to celebrate Women's Fund Tanzania Trust. And we're actually celebrating a story of change. We're celebrating a dream that was worked on, and in working on, became something that we can all believe in and that we can see tangible results from. It takes strength, and it takes vision, and it takes determination to have a dream and then make that dream happen, make that change happen. And I'm going to talk about Women's Fund Tanzania in a minute. But before we do that, I also want to say that I want to celebrate so many African women who have made change happen. The world is very good at painting African women as victims. They're constantly talking about our problems, our difficulties, our challenges. And I'm not pretending that we don't have challenges. Africa does have challenges. In fact, the whole world has challenges. But when you tell the story of African women, we should be telling the story of our dreamers, of our change makers, of those of us who have made our continent survive. And so before I talk about Women's Fund Tanzania, I want to talk about just a few examples of African women and change. Mary and Marie had a dream. They had been working with women's rights organizations, with feminist movements on the ground, and they saw the gap of money. They saw how people and organizations did not invest sufficiently in women's rights. No matter what they said in terms of talking, there was not enough action in terms of money. And so, seeing that gap, they dreamed of Women's Fund Tanzania. There are so many other African women who have had dreams and made that happen. I want to name our mothers and sisters like Wajadili Mafanikio. She is no longer with us, but people forget that Wajadili started the Greenbelt movement as a women's rights movement. And she saw decades before the world, which has now jumped and said, oh, we need to look at women's rights and the environment. We need to look at climate change. Wajadili had that dream decades before other people had it. And she moved women's rights and the environment together. She was the mother of a movement that has planted millions of trees, not just on our continent, but across the world. This is the power of African women dreaming. I know that Mama Mongela has said that her achievement is also the achievement of our movements. But again, I want to name her success and achievement because we do not name our mothers and our sisters and their achievements enough. Mama Mongela chaired the Beijing conference. This was not an easy thing to do. Anyone who has had anything to do with UN conferences knows that it's a nightmare. She had to hold together people who were fighting with each other, people who had their own agendas, countries that wanted one thing and other countries that wanted another thing, managing to pull together a global agenda for change on women's rights at that time when people were still so scared about the prospect of women having strength and moving forward. That was an incredible achievement.